Yeah, Sirski.
Soon,
like
right after that.
Joseph Budden.
Like Joe Budden. All right, so let's go into Joe Budden real quick. I don't have too much to say about Joe Budden, except the word that's I don't need 20. I just like one. We can split that.
We just half a million.
I don't know about that. That's it's crazy.
We gotta actually make a contract, guys.
Yeah. Shorty actually asked me that this morning. She was like,
in real time.
What would the breakdown be like of the money and the percentages and stuff like that?
I actually was thinking about that. Maybe when I was going over these topics.
We'll have to talk about that at a certain point. But all of that.
Who deserves more money, guys? Me or him? No, just
answer below, nigga. Keep in mind, nigga.
Who's the main character?
Hey, that's a good one. Who is the main character of this podcast? Main character energy.
That's hilarious.
We were talking about that, but for us to really understand that, we would have to get the numbers back to see where the revenue was coming from. So what piece of content? Is it a short? Is it a piece of content that's just me? And how does the money actually accumulate? So before we could even develop any sort of contract, we would really need to see, okay, how is this money being generated? What revenue generating activities are each one of us participating in? And then that's how we would.
Yes, sir.
But for right now, we 50-50.
All right.
50 piece.
Handshake deal. But yeah, so this Joe Budden, man, thing went viral. Hey guys. Excuse me, we are almost done. I just gonna need you guys to be quiet.
Okay, but I was coloring that first. I could just see it.
Jordan, there's a bunch of other paper over there. All right. So, Joe Budden states that the Joe Budden podcast is projected to make $20 million a year, starting in 2025.
Yeah.
This is a New York Times article. They spoke him and his business partner Ian. They spoke with the New York Times, kind of broke down the numbers, and this was after the 900 the Patreon numbers leaked, where it was revealed that the Patreon's making $900K a month.
Yeah.
Really incredible, because nobody really. They're one of the biggest podcasts out there. They had a Spotify deal previously, and then they were offered a lot of money,
$44 million,
to continue with that partnership, but then they would have had to give up equity or ownership of the show.
Of course, yeah.
Which is something that they've been against from the beginning, right? Joe Budden really was the guy, or is the guy in the space that's for the creators, that's for the people, that's really showing people the pathway to success in this industry. And so, they broke down where a lot of the money's coming from, right? The Patreon has 70,000 members.
Okay.
That's astonishing. And so subscription-based models are really gonna be, similar to Twitch and all of these other apps that, people are creating. This big revenue driver in the media space. You have your ad dollars, you have your YouTube monetization. What the Joe Budden podcast is doing, they're also licensing their content, which to other platforms, which they can only do because they own it.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of sponsors, they do have sponsors, but they try to limit them to like 3. So it's not just here's another sponsor, right? And it just feels organic. Okay. And then they have the direct to consumer model, which is pretty. You cut out the middleman. They do have exclusives that don't hit YouTube sometimes. I believe the Clips interview was a Patreon exclusive, but then
they put it on there
for the culture. They dropped it anyway. So yeah, man. Shout out to them, man, because I didn't know. I mean, he has a whole team now, right? The cast is paid pretty well.
Yeah.
And
there's one thing that's very interesting about the Joe Budden podcast is they tend to have their salary conversations live on air type shit. Like when people are disgruntled with a pay rate or pretending to be, you see it. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm
I
often
think
very
I think
confused.
they get like 1.5.
What? Each
Yep.
person?
If I'm not tripping,
I think you might be tripping about
Chat GPT. They might have capped me down.
If you not tripping about that, then Ish is definitely tripping. If Ish is getting paid 1.5 million and having an issue with the amount of money he's getting paid, there's a problem.
Don't quote me.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, bro. You're not worth that. Never would you get that here at the Heaven on Earth Society.
Heaven on
Podcast,
Earth,
bro.
baby.
But yeah, and we gotta also think about like, so let's just travel back in time with some of the new context. Think about what Rory and Mal and Joe Budden were debating about.
Mm-hmm.
What the actual issue was, ownership, and I think
Being able to see the numbers,
being able to see the
transparency.
and I think that part of the issue was when they couldn't see the numbers, but they heard the $44 million, they were very drawn to that deal. And, you know, I mean, a lot of lessons could be learned from this. Ownership is very crucial when you really go into monetizing anything. When you make the decision about whether you preference ownership or upfront payment, you have to be really very clear with yourself. The ownership is going to take more work, but the value in the long run is going to outweigh the upfront payment.
Right.
And with the upfront payment, you get ease, but you also are now controlled by another entity that's using your name.
Right.
So, a whole lot of smart decisions by Joe Budden. Namely, one of his smartest was to team up with a guy named Ian, who has a lot of business acumen, a lot of business knowledge. And so, it's not as hard as it seems. It's not as easy as
Pause.
it seems. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
And so,
We haven't had a pause moment all episode. So
we had a few, but we skipped.
yeah, we just
skipped it.
yeah, facts.
But we are in that beginning phase of the JBP where we just trying to get like, and we can get 20 bands a month, like off of a Patreon or a merch plan or a sponsorship deal. We good to go.
Yeah, facts.
But the good news is we can clearly get there.
Facts,
You know,
facts.
the numbers are numbering on that one. So Joe, good work, man.
Yeah. Got the network. Got a few shows on there. I think those are some lessons that's the main lesson that smaller creators can take away from this is, you know, keep your IP.
Yeah.
It's hard, you know, again, he spoke about this at, I believe it was CultureCon with Steve Stout, where it was... Little Steve. Where it's like, yo, yeah, it's very attractive to take the bag.
Yeah.
You know, but what he was said, and this was a bar, he's like, you know, what I'm after can't fit in a bag.
At all.
You know, like, just, you know what I mean? Simple as that. So, you know, but people are kind of giving away, you know, and shout out to the guys, you know, in the space that's doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? We don't know. I appreciate the transparency, and so, because he said it was very uncomfortable for them to even put this out there.
Of course.
But he's like, if I don't do it, no one will. And it's like, I need to show people to, like, yo, you could do this. So, because, like, we look at Cam and Mace, we know they got a bag, but we don't know the deal.
No, we do know the deal. So they did a $20 million deal. I forget the term, but they did 20.
But I'm saying, like, what's the equity? What's the breakdown? What's the licensing? What's the whole?
Oh, they don't own it.
So
Cam and Mace don't own it anymore.
So
I forget who they sold it to, but they sold ownership for the 20.
And then Barstool owns $1 million worth of game. I'm if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so for the whatever 100 million, I don't know what it was that they got. So,
you know,
and there's different pathways to success, right?
Yeah.
So different. It's all about negotiation at the end of the day. I think Nori talked about how he and I know we're going on to other people now, but Nori talked about how he sold Drink Champs 3 times.
How you do that?
So he had a deal. He had a deal with Mass Appeal, which is Nas's company.
Then
Revolt, and it was one more. Title.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he, you know what I'm saying, and he said that they all didn't wanna
work together.
But he figured out a way where it made sense for all parties involved.
Yeah, man, you just gotta stay down, bro. And you gotta try to maintain as much ownership as possible. I mean, I understand giving up pieces here and there for to work with people who have an expertise that you don't. But yeah, maintaining ownership is gonna be crucial. Now, so the numbers, we into the numbers. Oh, here's the last thing I want to say about that Joe Budden thing, but don't get it fucked up or twisted. When he showed those numbers initially, that was a mistake. That 900,000, that he didn't mean to do that. He didn't mean to show us that.
Right.
But after you show us that, you might as well show us the rest.
Right.
Because it's like, you gotta, your hosts are already gonna be coming to you saying like, oh, that's what we get? Go ahead and up the bag, sir.
Yeah.
So since you already got to do that, just come out with the real numbers, and right before you explain to them why you cannot. Oh, you need to see all the numbers? Okay, you saw most of them. Here's the rest. You cannot get a raise. I'm sorry. And more than that, we see that Joe Budden is bringing in more and more personalities so that none of them have as much leverage as they're trying to have.
Right.
It's not even hard to see.
Yeah, because the machine's still moving, and it's going to continue to as long as he's there running the ship.
Numbers. So